Hello viewers, welcome to video tutorial on electric potential. I am Dr. P. Ramakrishna, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College, Kamareddy. The concept of electric potential is a part of chapter Electrostatics in Electromagnetic Theory paper of BSc Physics syllabus. In this video lecture, we will learn about the definition and the concept of electric potential, its relationship with electric field intensity and equipotential surfaces. Before discussing these things, let us have a quick recap of what we have learnt in the previous tutorials of electrostatics chapter. Under electrostatics chapter, we have discussed electric lines of force, electric flux, Gauss law definition, proof and its applications. Applications specifically uniform spherical distribution, uniform linear charge distribution and uniform surface charge distribution. And in certain video tutorials, the possible questions which will appear at university examination are also discussed. Numerical examples wherever possible are also discussed thoroughly. Coming to electrical potential, for better understanding of electrical potential, let us go back to mechanics, the concept of liquid flow. You are well aware that liquid flows from a point of greater height to a point of smaller height. That means wherever there is a gradient in the height, then only liquid flow is possible. Otherwise, liquid will not flow from higher place to lower place. There should be a gradient in the height. Then only the liquid flows from one point to another point. Similarly, in the case of thermodynamics, we are aware that transfer of heat between two points takes place only when there is a temperature gradient between those 2 points. Otherwise, if the 2 points are at same temperature, we do not observe any kind of heat transfer from one point to another point. So, in the case of water flow or any liquid flow, there should be height gradient. In the case of heat transfer, heat flow, there should be temperature gradient. In a similar fashion, if there in the case of electrostatics, if the transfer of electric charges is needed, then what should be the necessary physical quantity? What should be the reason because of which charges flows from one point to another point in the electric field? And the reason is, it is electric potential. Electric potential is the reason because of which we observe charges flowing from one point to another point. Let us discuss one by one the points related to electric potential. Let us consider an electric field due to a positive charge Q. In this electric field, let us introduce another unit positive charge. let us name it as test charge Q naught. Q naught is unit positive charge, its magnitude is 1 coulomb and plus 1 coulomb. Let us place this unit positive charge Q naught in the electric field created by plus Q charge. So it's very clear that this test charge will experience a force of repulsion. Now observe the figure, let this charge B, test charge B at a point B in the electric field of charge plus Q. It will experience an radially outward repulsive force F. In order to move this test charge Q naught from point B to another point A, an external force is required, an external work is required, then only it will move against the field direction. Otherwise, it will move away from this charge because repulsion is acting. In order to make it move against the electric field, some external force is needed. Let us see. Let us suppose that W amount of work, a small animation shows that a W amount of work, external work, is acting which moves charge Q naught from point B to point A. Let us see once again. An external work W is acting on charge Q naught which moves the charge Q naught from point B to point A. Some amount of work is done and the potential difference in this case is defined as it is the amount of work done in moving unit test charge between those 2 points. If we assume this Q naught as 1 coulomb, then the potential difference between these 2 points A and B is equal to W, or simply mathematically it can be written as VA minus VB is equal to W by Q naught in general. In our explanation we assumed that Q naught as 1 coulomb. When it is 1 coulomb, the potential difference becomes equal to work done W. Here VA is the potential at point A and VB is the potential at point B. Now we are interested in potential difference between 2 points, that is A and B. So it is given as VA minus VB. We will define potential at a point in the next slide. Let us first try to understand what is potential difference between 2 points. The potential difference between 2 points is equal to ratio of work done and the magnitude of charge. VA minus VB is equal to W by Q naught. This is about the potential difference. So this potential difference is similar to, the electric potential is similar to height in mechanics, that is in the case of liquid flow, and temperature gradient in the case of thermodynamics. So if you remember this, you will not forget. Potential difference is similar to height gradient in mechanics, heat flow, and temperature gradient in thermodynamics. Now let us define potential, electric potential at a point. Let us consider the same situation, an electric field set up by charge plus Q, in which charge Q naught is placed at point B. Now let us imagine a slight different situation in which instead of moving charge Q naught from point B to A, let us move this charge q naught from infinity. Let us assume that this point B is at infinite distance. Some external work W is doing, because of which external agency is doing work, because of which the charge is moving, the test charge q naught is moving from infinity to point A in the field. Now in this situation, let us define electric potential at a point. Now in the previous equation, we had VA minus VB is equal to W by Q naught, where VB was the potential at point B. Now here the point B is at infinity. That means we are taking the initial point at infinite distance from the charge. We know that the effect of charge, this charge at infinite distance is minimal. We arbitrarily take that potential as 0. When VB becomes 0, VA is equal to W by Q naught. Now in this situation, now what we have done, we have moved the test charge from infinite distance to a point in an electric field. Now let us define electric potential at a point. Electric potential at a point in the electric field is defined as the amount of work done by external agency in moving unit test charge from infinity to that point against the electric force of the field. Here Q naught, in the definition Q naught is assumed as 1. When Q naught becomes 1, VA becomes W. That is how definitions are made. In general, whenever ratio is found, the denominator is made equal to 1, and then numerator becomes equal to LHS. In this case, when Q naught becomes 1, VA, that is potential at point A, becomes amount of work done in moving the charge from infinity to a point in the electric field. So in the previous slide we have discussed the definition of potential difference. We have understood what is potential difference. Now we have understood what is electric potential at a point in the electric field. The unit of electric potential is volt. MKS or SI unit is volt. In short, it is denoted by capital V. When we write in short, we write capital V. When we write full name, we write small letters VOLT, volt. For example, 5 volts. Either we should write 5 VOLT in small cases or 5 capital V. So you should not write small v for denoting electric potential. Let us define 1 volt. When VA becomes 1 volt, when W is equal to 1 and also Q is also equal to 1. So 1 volt is defined as the potential difference between 2 points, so that 1 joule of work is done in moving 1 coulomb of positive charge, that is unit positive charge, from one point to another point. Simply it is given as 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per 1 joule per coulomb. or otherwise 1 joule by 1 coulomb. 1 volt is equal to 1 joule by 1 coulomb. Now let us try to relate the electric potential with the field intensity or field strength. Sometimes electric field intensity is also called as electric strength. We know that whenever we move a charge against the electric potential, we need to do certain amount of work. We need to apply force against the electric field strength. So, in order to move a test charge Q naught against the electric field E, the force needed is F is equal to minus Q naught E. Here the minus sign denotes that the force is acting in opposite direction to electric field intensity. Let us suppose that the charge is moved a distance of dl and the work done is dw. The amount of work done dw in moving the test charge to a distance dl is given by dw is equal to f dot dl, where f stands for minus q naught e. Now, in order to calculate the total work, this dw is very small amount of work done in moving a charge very small distance. If we want to calculate the total work done in moving test charge from A to B, then we integrate this equation from A to B. After substituting the value of f in the equation, it becomes integral minus q naught e dot dl from A to B. Since q naught is constant, we write it outside the integration. So WAB is equal to minus q naught times integral E dot dl from A to B. If we bring this q naught to other side, it will become WAB by q naught. But from the definition of potential difference of previous slides, we know that VB minus VA. Here the test charge is moved from point A to point B. Remember this, most of the time students fail to write this equation properly. Most of the students write this equation as VA minus VB. It should not be written like that. It should be written as VB minus VA is equal to WAB, that is work done in moving test charge from A to B. Since the potential of a point which is nearer to the charge will be greater, we write it first, VB. Here point B is nearer to the charge plus Q and point A is away from the charge. Now this equation becomes VB minus VA is equal to, from the above equation we can write minus integral E dot dl from point A to B. When the point A is taken, at infinity, then the potential at infinity becomes 0. We assume it as 0. So if we substitute 0 for VA, our electrical potential at point B becomes VB is equal to minus of integral E dot dl from infinity to B. In general, we do not write infinity when we are defining electric potential at a point. We do not mention infinity and B for definite integral. It is understood that the test charge is brought from infinity to the point where we are calculating the potential. So potential at a point, simply V is given as minus of integral E dot dl. This is one way of relating electric potential with electric field intensity. Let us recollect it again. V in general, V potential V is written as V is equal to minus of integral E dot dl. Let us see other way of writing. The same equation can also be written in terms of differential. This is written in terms of integrals. The relation between potential and field intensity can also be written in terms of differential. Let us see how it can be written. For that, let us assume two surfaces which are at potentials V and V plus dV in the electric field of charge. Here let us assume that the charge is minus Q. Minus Q charge is present here. It is creating electric field. That's why the arrow electric field intensity is shown inwards. Electric field intensity is shown inwards. So here minus Q charge is creating electric field. In that electric field, we have assumed two surfaces at potentials V and V plus dV. Let us assume the test charge Q naught present at a point A on the surface at potential V. If we move it along this direction dl from point A on surface V to point B on surface V plus dw. Now in this case, if we write the work done, it can be written as dw is equal to F dot dl. Here F is the amount of force to be applied in moving charge from A to B. If we replace, here also it is moved against the charge, against the electric field intensity. That is why it is taken minus. dw can be written as minus Q naught E dot dl. When we write total total work done, before that let us rewrite this equation as dw by Q naught. dw by Q naught becomes minus E dot dl. We know that dw by Q naught is nothing but potential difference. So dv can be written as minus E dot dl. What we have assumed? We have assumed a minus Q charge which is setting up an electric field in which two surfaces are taken which are at potentials V and V plus dV. A test charge Q naught is moved against the field. Since the test charge is positive, it will be attracted towards the center, towards the charge minus Q. But we are moving it in opposite direction. So we need to do some external work. That work is written like this. From that we have written the expression for potential difference. Remember this equation. We are going to use this equation. dV is equal to minus E dot dl. Now in the same figure, let us assume the coordinates of points A and B. Let the coordinates of the points are x comma y comma z, and the coordinates of point B x plus dx, comma y plus dy, comma z plus dz. Now in this case, the potential difference can be expressed as dv can be expressed as the total change in the potential dv is equal to summation of change in the potentials in three directions x, y and z direction. Since potential is a function of x, y and z, we can write the total change in the potential as dou v by dou x times dx plus dou v by dou y times dy plus dou v by dou z times dz. If we rearrange this right hand side term, it can be written as dou v by dou x times I plus dou v by dou y times j plus dou v by dou z times k dot dxi plus dyj plus dzk. We know that this thing is nothing but del of v or grad v, gradient of v, and this is nothing but the displacement vector dl. So dv can be written as gradient of v dot dl. Let us assume that this equation is 2. In the first equation, from the first and second equation, we can write in the first equation here it was minus e, in the place of del v it was minus e. So from those two equations we can write e as minus del v. That is nothing but the electric field intensity is expressed as negative gradient of potential. Remember this. This is mostly asked question. Show that the electric field intensity is negative gradient of potential. So you need to derive this one. Of course, there are some other derivations where you can derive it shortly. We will see how it can be done in a short way in the following video lectures, where we will discuss the question and answers on this concept. Okay, let us define this electric potential in terms of the relationship between electric potential and the electric field intensity in terms of polar coordinates. When we are discussing some critical problems, three-dimensional problems, Cartesian coordinates are very difficult to use. In that case, we use either polar coordinates and spherical coordinates. So in that case, these equations are very much useful. This is the ER stands for radial component, E theta stands for azimuthal component. The radial component of electric field is given by minus of dou V by dou R at constant theta. Here theta means at constant theta. That means when azimuthal component is constant, the radial component is given as minus of dou v by dou r. Similarly, the azimuthal component is given as minus of 1 by r times dou v by dou r. The next topic is equipotential surfaces. Equipotential surfaces are the points, a group of points, the locus of all such points where the value of electric potential is same. So there will be a group of points where the potential value will be same. All such points make a surface which is called as equipotential surface. Now from this small animation we can understand. Let us assume a charge positive charge like this. So it will create a radially outward electric field. It will create a radially outward electric field as shown in figure. Okay. So these circles, these red color circles represent equipotential surfaces. Now these equipotential surfaces can be understood in a better way from electric lines of force which are shown perpendicular. The electric lines of force are emerging from the charge away from the charge. Blue lines represent electric lines of force and the red circles represent equipotential surface. In the case of a point charge, let us see it once again. Let this be the point charge, a positive charge. Then it will create an electric field radially outward. It will create a radially outward electric field which will act radially outward. It is shown by this animation. Now if we draw the electric field lines at this point, they will be perpendicular to equipotential surfaces. Another situation arises when the charge is very much away from the point of consideration. When the charge is very much away from the point of consideration, the equipotential surfaces will be planar. They will be parallel planes. Now in this case, the lines of force will be perpendicular. Again, in the both the cases, the lines of force are perpendicular to each other, but the difference between these two figures is here the point charge is very close to point of observation, but here the point charge is very much away from the point of observation. Let us see some of the characteristics of equipotential surfaces. We know that the electric field along the equipotential surface is 0. If we take a tangential component of electric field, it will be 0. We will notice only normal component at equipotential surface. The tangential component will be 0. That is, along the equipotential surface, field will be 0. And another one, electric field will always act normal to the surfaces, the equipotential surfaces. If we move any charge on equipotential surface from one point to another point, since the points are at same potential, the work done will be 0. And another characteristic is the equipotential surfaces are similar to wavefronts in optics. You might have observed the way of emerging wavefronts in optics. Here the equipotential surfaces play the same role like wavefronts in optics. Another attribution is the equipotential surfaces will be plane for charges at infinity. In the previous slide we have seen when the charge is very much away from, far away from the point of consideration, the equipotential surfaces will be plane. When the point of observation is nearer to point charge, the equipotential surfaces will be spherical. If the charge is extended charge is there and point of consideration is very much nearer to charge, then we will see cylindrical equipotential surfaces. So with this we have completed this video lecture, that is a video lecture on electric potential. In this video lecture we have discussed about the definition, the concept of electric potential and the relations between electric field intensity and electric potential. We have seen integral relation as well as differential relation. Also, we have discussed about equipotential surfaces. In the following video tutorial, we will discuss some of the possible questions on electric potential. Thank you for watching this video. Keep watching our videos.